We know Trump and the King have a great relationship, and Trump also met with Prince William in Paris just recently at the opening of Notre Dame. Very friendly meeting. What's the expectation about how Prince William's role carries forward?
Well, it is a big role because, certainly both William and Kate, the Prince and Princess of Wales, do have a role to play. We saw William and Trump have that really cordial meeting in December after the Notre Dame Cathedral reopening. They met for 40 minutes at the British ambassador's residence in Paris. And I think that you're not just looking at a British state visit if that was to happen. Of course, there was one in 2019 where Trump spoke about his affection and his love for the royal family. That's something that he's spoken about on numerous occasions. But if the King wasn't able to go due to his health, then the Prince and Princess of Wales will be waiting in the wings. Certainly the states are very, very keen to get a senior royal over there. Of course, they want the King and the Queen. The kudos that comes with that cannot be underestimated. But if it was to be William and Kate, wouldn't it be a Bonanza tour as well? So I think a lot of planning to go on both sides. But certainly the King is really up for it. He's certainly raring to go. He's got an Italian tour this spring over in Europe, and it's really good news for him and his health, I think.
I think so, and I think it's a great way for the royal family to stay relevant, and more broadly on the relevance of the royal family. A very interesting interview in the UK Telegraph with historian David Starkey about what he talks about the disintegration of Britain. Look, he focuses somewhat solemnly on the decline of the royal family. Do you think it's a decline or a renaissance for the modern day?
Well, you look at just the evidence, and I'm surprised that David Starkey was interviewed because, I thought he was cancelled a couple of years ago, and now he's coming out with these tropes against the royal family. But you look at the evidence here, and any poll that has been done recently is really favourable to Charles because, everybody thought that the royal family's popularity would fall off a cliff after the death of the late Queen, and it hasn't happened. He's really edging towards the sort of favourability stakes of the late Queen Elizabeth II. So what does that mean for Charles? I think that there's a lot of sympathy for his plight over the last year. People are certainly behind him. I revealed during this week that just in the first 7 weeks of this year, the royal family have done more engagements than at any time in the same period since COVID. And that tells you that they're raring to go. They're firing on all cylinders, even though there's not very many of them. And we've still got the Princess of Wales trying to get back to duties. It's sort of baby steps for her, and everybody realises why she's doing that. The King is straight out the blocks, and people are flocking to see them whenever you go around the country. So there's big things in the pipeline, and the royal families wouldn't be doing this if their sort of star was waning. So I'm not too sure whether David Starkey is sort of reading the mood here, because wherever I've been across the country, there's a big sense of goodwill for them.
Which is fabulous to hear. No argument from me. And it's interesting you say about them attending more events than since COVID in this period of the year, because interestingly, the Prince and Princess of Wales won't be attending the BAFTAs this year. They have attended before. Do we know why they're not going?
Well, it's simply explained. I think that, they don't go to every single one. Where Prince William is president of BAFTA, you'd possibly expect him to be there. However, it's double-edged this year because it's half-term. We know that the fact they like to take themselves away from duties to spend some time with their kids, that family unit is very, very important to them. Then, of course, you've got the Princess of Wales sort of just getting herself back to duties as it comes. But Prince William did attend a BAFTA event during the week. In his role as president of BAFTA, he went to a sort of a youth school that is working on the next generation of filmmakers. And I think when he's bringing it back to sort of the community aspect of his work, that's really, really important. Of course, we love to see them, in the glitz and the glamour with all the superstars at these kind of awards. But this year, we're coming at the back of the Princess of Wales, just recuperating from her 7 months of chemotherapy. She's just trying to get back to duty. So they probably thought that this was a good opportunity to have a lay year, and no doubt they'll hopefully be back in force for the next event next year.
She's had some fabulous BAFTA frocks, and I think that's what we're all looking forward to be perfectly honest. Now, speaking about Catherine still, and we learned this week that she's been given quite a prestigious role in relation to royal warrants, not readily granted. What is it?
Well, royal warrants are really interesting. And the fact is, you'd think that it was sort of some sort of grey suited committee that give out these warrants. And it isn't actually. It's senior members of the royal family. So now we've got the King, the Queen, the Prince of Wales are able to give royal warrants, and now the Princess of Wales. And you give them to sort of companies that have given service for at least 3 years to the royal family. So that could be, you know, a biscuit maker or a soup maker. Camilla gave one to a hairdresser recently. You've got all the shops in Balmoral, in and around Balmoral and Sandringham that provide these goods and services to the royal family. And it's like a badge of honour. You can stick a sticker up on your shop window, have sort of a plaque, digital plaque on your website to say that you are by appointment of the King or the Queen and now the Princess of Wales. And I think it tells you a lot about Kate's standing within the royal family. Very important for her to have that association with businesses and organisations that are helping her do her duty. So the King has sort of ratified it, and no doubt that'll be a big part of Kate's work moving forward this year.
I think I agree with you, and I think it really goes to her judgment and how much the King respects her judgment, because that there is not something that you would hand out without real care and real thought. Russell Myers, thank you for joining us.